Welcome to the Bourbon Van. I'm Phil.
I'm Julie. Another year has come and gone, and here are our favorite whiskeys of 2022.
This is one of our favorite videos to do every year, even though it can be the most stressful.
It's a little hard to decide between what you like or even just remember what you liked.
That's the hardest thing. We've tried to track these all year. We're going to do this a little different. In the past, we have split the Bourbons and Ryes into different videos. We've had categories. We've had a million different ways to do this. This year, we're going to go with our top 20 bottles that are American whiskeys, Bourbons, Ryes, and American whiskeys, American Single Malt Whiskeys. We're not going to go international. Our palates aren't there yet, even though we're starting to enjoy more international stuff. But this is kind of a mix of the things that we liked the most, combined with, are they readily available? What's the cost of them? How did they perform in our Advent tournament? There's a lot that went into this. So if you have your own top 20 list...
It's probably not going to be the same as ours.
Right. Yeah, it won't be the same. We're interested in knowing what your top bottles are, and we'll ask you more about that down the way here in this video. We're just going to get right to it. We're going to start with bottle number 20, and keep in mind, again, these are not ranked from 20th to 1st in terms of this is the best whiskey of the year versus the 20th best. A whole lot of thought went into this, but just enjoy the ride here. Our first bottle is a finished whiskey. You don't find a lot of these on any of our lists, but it is a Nancy Fraley special, and we love it. It's the first bottle we've ever gotten of Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend. This is the Freebird batch, and it's the only Joseph Magnus that we've ever bought. We love this one.
Yeah, it felt like it had to make the list. We know people love this one.
The flavors are enormous. The proof is enormous. It's 126.32 proof. Had to write it down. A lot of the proof points don't go into double digits. This one does. And it's a blend of things between 14.8 and 20 years aged. So a ton of flavor on this. Very unique, very interesting, and extremely fun to share with people. We've had a couple of tastings. That bottle's starting to sneak down a little bit, and it's been very good. So bottle number 20, and that one, by the way, $180, one of the more expensive bottles on this list, and you're probably going, $180, virtually unattainable. Why is it even on those? 20th place, guys.
Hang in there. We got some for you.
Well, what have you got in 19th place, Julie?
I've got a Heaven's Door, and this just happens to be one that we helped pick, so it had to make the list.
Had to make the list, absolutely. 122.6 proof, 5 years aged. Like Julie said, we got to help make this pick. It's a BR Distilling product, and it sells for $60, and there are plenty of them left at Trailhead Liquor and Bend South Liquor, I believe, in Central Oregon. So if you haven't tried this one, or you're not sure what to buy next time you go to the liquor store in Bend, Oregon, now you know.
It's a good one. Trust us. Next up, Big State, Big Proof.
132 proof to be exact. This is Balcones American Single Malt. For the first time, we're putting a single malt on the list. This is a single barrel pick as well. They do make one that's, I believe, 107 or 108 proof, and we really like that one. Mm-hmm. But we got this single barrel here in Oregon, and it is dynamite.
It's got incredible flavors, and there's an apricot note that I just love in this bottle.
There's all kinds of weirdness in there. There is a distinctive funk that really gets me going. I'm quite excited about this bottle. I'm excited about the brand. Balcones is not something that we've historically gotten our hands on very frequently, but the more that I sip on their single malt, the more I want to explore that brand, and we hope to find a lot more of it on our shelf in the new year.
All right, Texas. I got an empty bottle for you.
Coming in at number 17, this is Sagamore Spirit Rye Whiskey, and this is their signature straight rye, and you can see that we've been enjoying the heck out of it. It's gone. This brand has been doing incredible things, and they've been very good to us, so we want to be upfront about that. But this bottle, what I really love about it is it's only 83 proof, and it still has a ton of flavor. I love to sip it neat when I don't want anything too heavy or too proofy.
And I like to drink it in my old fashions. Or even that Manhattan. Watch that video.
Yeah, that Holiday Manhattan. If you're still looking for a holiday cocktail, I don't know why you would, but if you are, check that out. It's affordable. It's maybe not readily available, but it's available in a lot of places out there, and it's low proof but high flavor.
And it deserves to be on this list for those reasons and more.
Agreed.
This one's probably on the list more for me than for Phil, but I do love the Wood Finish series.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's always a great series, and I'm not that big on wheated bourbons personally, but we usually find one that's a little more well-balanced each year. You generally have a super sweet batch and then a more balanced batch. In this year, BRT02 is the one that had a lot of great sweetness, but also was tempered by a little spice, and the proof itself is just a nice balanced whiskey, this one.
For those who watched the tournament, the BRT01 was the one that did pretty well, and we like this one even better.
Did well for you.
Did well for me. Coming in at number 15 is the Senator, and we've done quite a bit of damage to it this holiday season.
This is a bottle we actually never took a second look at because it's priced at $80. It's 115 proof, and it's MGP whiskey. So you would think there's plenty of MGP whiskey out there. Why would I spend that for it? Well, there's something special about this particular product. We got to try a sample that somebody gave us. It was amazing. It's maple syrup. It's like eating a gingerbread house in liquid form. When we went back and bought this bottle at our local store, we were very excited to bring it home and see if it had all the same flavors that we had gotten from that sample. It has them and more. It has become a holiday crusher, and you can see that it's turned us into holiday crushers because we're crushing this whiskey. And if you've been avoiding it because maybe it looks a little pricey, or you're thinking, could it really be that different from all the other MGP Ryes out there? It absolutely is. It's got a ton of flavor. Highly recommended.
And it's a great winter warmer.
Totally agree.
Starlight, Star Bright, we should drink some bourbon tonight.
How about that? Coming in at number 14, it's what I'm drinking in this glass right here. This is a single barrel, a cask strength single barrel from Starlight. And what we've discovered about Starlight Distilling in Indiana is we
like it.
Like it a lot, yeah. And the higher the proof, generally the more we like their bourbons. And this one was a gift to us by Bill and Wendy Becker, who are very, very generous people. And we could not be more excited about this one. We have a couple of unopened bottles of Starlight in the house. This one's so good, and you see we've just opened it and we're doing damage to it. It's so good we might have to get those other ones open. It's fantastic flavors, and if you're a fan of oak, every time we have one of their high proof whiskeys, the oak is at the forefront. It's not overpowering, it's not overwhelming, and this bottle happens to have a ton of powdered sugar on the palate as well.
I was going to say, there's just a nice hint of sweetness that offsets that oak that's so delicious, and it also feels perfect for this time of year.
Really does, yeah. There are a lot of distilleries out there doing really cool things, and especially in the craft distilling world, we find very few craft bottles that satisfy the way that these high proof bottles do from Starlight Distillery. It's delicious whiskey.
We got a hometown honey for you.
Lucky number 13. This is a Crater Lake Spirits and Deschutes Brewery collaboration, and there's going to be a lot more coming on this bottle very soon. We went to Deschutes Brewery and actually interviewed Alan Dietrich, the CEO of Crater Lake Spirits, and did a side-by-side tasting of this Black Butte whiskey alongside a bunch of Deschutes Brewery beers, and it was all kinds of fun. We can't wait to show you that video. But this is the second single malt American whiskey that's on this list. 125 proof. This is a very limited edition bottle, so the fact that it's on this list kind of hurts my heart a little bit because most people are never going to see this one, but we hope that they sell this one again in the future. This was just a single barrel they decided to sell as a cask strength version.
And we've been looking forward to the cask strength version for a couple of years now, so we're very excited that it came out this year.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be petitioning Alan and Crater Lake Spirits to keep it up on this one because that's a great release. The flavors are enormous, and if you like beer, if you like malty, barley forward whiskeys, holy smokes, it's a special bottle, and we even got the distiller's signature on it because we are huge fans.
ECBP fans, here you go.
ECBP didn't do so great in our Advent tournament this year, but it was the B and C batches. We put them in intentionally because we had no idea if they were good or not. We hadn't really put them up against anything else. The A122, on the other hand, we know everybody's got their own opinion on this bottle, but the A122 batch for us this year, we thought it was absolutely amazing. The chocolate is sweet and decadent. The oak is sweet and decadent. The raisins, the plums, the vanilla, everything is there, all the flavors that we like. We think it's a classic Elijah Craig barrel proof flavor profile at a great proof point, and it's so satisfying. 120.8
proof, which is kind of a nice proof point.
I like it.
12 years aged. It's delicious.
Delicious, and we get it locally here for $70, non-chill filtered. Elijah Craig barrel proof. We know year after year, some people complain that maybe it's not the same as it used to be, whatever it might be. Still, it makes our end of year list every single year. It's just great whiskey.
Got another local Oregon brand for you today.
And one of these should look familiar if you watched our Advent tournament because it was the winner for me in my bracket and a total surprise. Bull Run Whiskey out of Portland, Oregon. We know that we like what they're doing. We know that they're producing great stuff. Had no idea how much it was going to perform, at least for my palate. And we're trying a lot of different things from them these days, and we're liking what we're seeing. This barrel strength bourbon is absolutely delicious. Tons of flavor and malt on the flavor profile. You know I love that. It's kind of my absolute favorite.
There's another bottle here, though, that we wanted to call out this year.
It is a high malt bourbon from Bull Run, and one of the things that I'm starting to discover about my palate is that I really like high malt bourbon. And at 51% corn, 49% barley, that's exactly what you're getting with that bottle over there. And I'm starting to fall in love with it. There's fruit flavors, there's malty beer-like flavors, and you know, I love to pair whiskey with beer, and that's a perfect bottle to do it with.
You get so excited when you talk about Bull Run. It makes me excited for you.
Not for you, for me. Well, maybe it's because Portland has such a craft beer pedigree that these whiskeys, for whatever reason, pair beautifully with craft beers. But if you see Bull Run and you're not sure if you want to pull the trigger, if you're a beer fan, I think maybe it's worth
Give
a
it
go.
a try.
Yeah.
Coming at number 10, and I can't stress enough how much I enjoyed this bottle this year.
Everything about it was fantastic.
Yeah.
The proof point of 101, the price point of $49.95, and the fact that it was finished in one of the most odd finishes of all time, an Aquavit barrel.
Right.
What we expected was that it would bring out a ton of sweetness, maybe it would hide some of that rye flavor. The Aquavit barrel finishing actually enhanced the rye, gave it a ton more flavor.
And we must like it because it's another finished whiskey on our list, which normally does not happen.
It almost never happens. Yeah, there's very few finished whiskeys that we've found that we really, really like, even though we've been sent samples of tons of them. We've been recommended a ton of them. Only a handful have actually hit our palates. This is one of the best ones we've ever had. High West Aquavit finish. High West doing lots of weird finishes right now. If you see this Aquavit, though, highly recommend going for it. That is very good whiskey.
Going back to Texas, and boy, what a surprise this bottle was.
Meet the youngest bottle on our list, aged only 2 years, 118 proof. We got this bottle for $50 while we were traveling in Nevada because I've never seen one of these in Oregon. We were excited to try it because we've been recommended this bottle by a ton of different people. We've shied away from it because of the age and because we don't know that much about Texas whiskey. But after we tried Still Austin's The Musician and loved it, as soon as we saw this cask strength version, we knew that we had to try it too. And it's fantastic. The nose is a little strange.
It is a little funky.
But the flavor profile is great if you like notes of cola, citrus, and an odd, sweet, funky oak like you've never tried before. This is a bottle that's worth your attention, and we keep hearing how it's $50 everywhere. Maybe you find it a couple dollars more or a couple dollars less. For $50, you're getting one of the more unique whiskeys we've ever tried, and certainly one of the more unique whiskeys we've tried this year. It's great.
That Texas heat is creating some big flavors in whiskey. I am so excited about this bottle, it could be number 1 for me.
You're probably looking at this one going, that didn't come out this year. It's out all the... Yeah, we've never seen a bottle before. We forgot to say that. On this list,
There's some bottles that aren't from 2022.
if it's the first time we've tried it, it can be on this list.
Yes.
And this is a bottle that we got to try for the first time on a live stream together, and we loved it so much. We couldn't believe that we even found this bottle out in the wild.
Yeah.
It's rye that tastes like oatmeal cookie dough, but the flavors are enormous. When we tried this bottle, I said, this bottle makes me angry that it's so good. I don't know what happened to my emotions when I tried that whiskey. It's that good. Huge flavors, huge level of satisfaction. Michter's Barrel Strength Rye, if you ever get the chance.
Get one. Well, let's keep going with some bottles that you can't find out there, but hang with us, because these deserve to be on the list as well.
Number 7 is the new Stag. Forget Stag Junior. We've got Stag here, and I like Stag because they're not afraid to go full bore with the proof. This is 131 proof. It is absolutely huge flavors. The tobacco is there. The fruit is there. The oak is there. The vanilla, the toffee, all the things that make Stag Junior delicious. You're going to find them here in the new Stag, and we know you don't see these out there. Around here, the MSRP, though, $50, what you get it for, no sales tax. How do you not put that on a top 20 list? It has to be on the top 20 list. And here it is at number 7, totally well-deserved.
Yeah, you're hoping that it's not going to be good because you can't get it. But unfortunately, it's delicious and it deserves to be here.
What do you got in your glass over there?
Stag. We were also super fortunate to get this next bottle, Russell's 13, and you know what a fan of Russell's we are.
Yeah, coming in at number 6, it's this batch of Russell's 13 for 2022. Delicious flavors, 114.8 proof, aged for 13 years, of course, and once again, MSRP with no sales tax. We got this bottle for $70. I know it's not attainable out there. It's hard to find,
know.
but for $70, enormous flavors. I think that, once again, this bottle tastes like blueberry pie with lime citrus zest and caramel and beautiful oak, maybe even some red licorice on the finish. The flavors stick around forever. It's such a satisfying pour. These Russell's Reserve bottles from Wild Turkey might be my favorite bottles overall of all time.
You guys know I celebrate the entire Russell's Reserve line. I just love them. For the bottle alone, I celebrate this baby. It's just beautiful.
Gorgeous bottle, gorgeous packaging, gorgeous whiskey, most of all. This is coming in at number 5. This is Frey Ranch Rye Barrel Strength Single Barrel Distiller's Reserve, 130.4 proof, so watch your taste buds. From Frey Ranch Distillery in Nevada, of course. Their bottled and bond rye made our list last year. It is so unique. The stuff that they're making is absolutely amazing. True grain to glass. We had a great time when we visited there earlier this year. And if you're looking to learn more about Frey Ranch and see how grain to glass is done properly, you should definitely check that video out. This is a $100 bottle, but what you get for your money is absolutely amazing. Huge flavors, and once again, we've been talking about how craft distillers are finding new flavors. They're doing unique things. They're creating amazing flavor profiles that are super satisfying. Frey Ranch is really one of the distillers that's near the top of the list for us in all of those categories. We absolutely love their whiskey, and I can see us making another trip to Fallon, Nevada sometime this winter or spring.
There's corn, there's earthiness, there's oak. It's just such a wonderful balance, and it just gives you something just a little bit different for those taste buds.
I think it gives you something that's a lot different.
A lot different. I'm feeling a little bougie right now, guys.
And you're also playing peekaboo.
But she's so beautiful.
Gorgeous.
She's so delicious. You know how I feel about aged whiskeys. Sometimes they're a hit, sometimes they're a miss. This one was just so beautiful, it had to be on the list.
And everything about this is fantastic. It's one of the better boxes we've ever seen in whiskey. The bottle itself is made of extremely high quality, heavy glass. It looks fantastic. And 17 years is what it says on it, but there's actually whiskey in here that's older than 21 and 22 years. Unbelievable that they were able to blend something that tastes this good, that's not over oaked, that's well balanced, that's super flavorful. Honestly, another one that's impossible to find and really pricey. This could have been our whiskey of the year because flavor-wise, palate-wise, finish-wise, nose-wise, it probably deserves to be the number 1 whiskey of the year, but it's super hard to find.
And so expensive.
$275. There's a lot of reasons to make this our whiskey of the year. There's just as many reasons that it's not whiskey of the year. Absolutely delicious though if you get a chance to try this at a bar, or if you find it and it's not exorbitantly priced. Don't spend $1,000 on whiskey. That's just not cool. Check it out. That's a very, very good bottle.
If you've watched the channel at all this year, you know Phil is in love with this next bottle.
It's another Oregon bottle that I'm exceedingly excited about. This is McCarthy's Single Malt. Yet again, American Single Malt. This one coming into the top 3 for the very first time for us. McCarthy's Single Malt, Single Barrel, Cask Strength. This is a local pick, but there are other picks out there, and McCarthy's, they're releasing new things all the time. They're one of the original American Single Malt brands. This is a peated product. I know you're probably cringing out there going, what is this bourbon channel talking about? But this is one of the American originals here, and I'm banging the drum for this brand every chance that I get because I absolutely think it's fantastic. But what's more, the most important thing here is that this is the bottle that opened my mind and my palate to new flavors. Irish whiskey, Scotch whiskey, anything peated. All those things that I've come to be very fond of over this past year comes from this bottle because once I tasted it, it blew me away. I was so excited about the flavors. I knew I had to try a bunch of different things just to see what else was out there. So I'm on a journey of whiskey discovery because of McCarthy's, and that's why this bottle's in the top 3. This one happens to be 113 proof, aged 3 years, from Clear Creek Distillery / Hood River Distillers right here in Hood River, Oregon. Joe and Caitlin and Garrett and the entire team are some of the nicest people in the world, and their whiskey is some of the best out there. Their Trails End bourbon, by the way, you might remember was our Oregon Bourbon of the Year last year. It's only fitting that this bottle would finish in our top 3 this year.
We're cheating a bit on our number 2 selection, but like we said, they didn't have to come out this year. We just had to have tried them this year.
And we're also making it easy on ourselves by choosing 2 from the same brand instead of trying to rank both of them. Obviously, this Four Roses single barrel, the private selection from the state of Oregon for 2021, the OBSK, is one of the best bottles that we've tried this year. It did so well in the Advent tournament.
If you watch the tournament, you will remember the, fourth to last day where we just said, this glass is perfection.
And it is. When I think about what bourbon should taste like, that's the bottle that comes to mind. Now, sometimes that might be a little boring, but the balance here, the sweetness here, the flavor here, absolutely amazing. And it's been a surprise because we've never tried the OBSK yeast strain before. Barrel strength Four Roses can be hard to find. OBSK Four Roses can be really hard to find. But if you can track this one down, highly recommend it.
And then, of course, we have the limited edition, which we actually didn't pick up until January of 2022, which is why it gets on the list this year.
And it's 114.2 proof, 12 to 16 year blend, and it's $160. So the difference there between this single barrel and the limited edition quite large, because the single barrel is 9 years, 9 months aged, and $85. So much more reasonable price-wise. For the age, you're getting something great there. But we historically have not been the biggest Four Roses fans, but some of their higher end, higher proof stuff is absolutely phenomenal.
And we can't talk our favorite whiskeys of 2022 without talking about Old 55.
You know how we keep talking about craft distilleries and exciting flavors and how we're looking for new things all the time? Old 55 came through and demolished our taste buds this year.
Demolished them is a perfect way to say that.
Old 55 from the state of Indiana. We've got two bottles here, obviously. One is the bottled in bond that did so well in the Advent tournament. One for Julie, got second place for me. The best performing bottle we've ever had in an Advent tournament. Mm-hmm. The other one here is a barrel strength version. And if you remember us talking a little bit during the Advent tournament about how much flavor the bottled in bond had, imagine the one that's uncut. These have so much delicious oak flavor. Again, true grain to glass, small operation doing unbelievable things. I know that the distribution is small on this, but for $70 and $80, what these bottles go for, you're getting more than your money's worth. So take a road trip to Indiana, go check out Old 55. If you see this on the shelf and you're not sure if you want to get it or not, Get it. The answer is to just buy this whiskey. Old 55 has been doing amazing things. This is our third and fourth bottles, I believe, of these products, and every single one that we've tried, we have absolutely loved.
I'm a big proponent of your whiskey having a fun factor, and for me, this one, every time I sip it, I get the biggest smile on my face. The flavors are just so lovely and so wonderful and unexpected, but with all the bourbon flavors that you really want anyway, with just a little bit of fun. I think that's why I just love these Old 55 bottles.
And I love them because they're delicious.
So that's our favorites of 2022. It's been a great year.
Yeah, there was some talk early on this year that it was a down year for bourbon in particular and American whiskey, but I think we
found some interesting things.
Yeah, we definitely didn't find that to be the truth. And of course, we spend a lot of time on the road, so we find these smaller distilleries that are producing unbelievable whiskey. So if you've got a local distillery that you haven't checked out yet, go have a look and try their stuff, because there's a good chance that they're producing something amazing.
And interesting.
So that's our top 20 of the year. Let us know, what's your top bottle? Tell us about the top 3, top 5. You got tons of space below this video. We're not going to stop you. Go ahead, tell us everything you think. We'll see you again in 2023 from wherever we are.
To wherever you are.
Cheers.
Cheers. That year went fast.
No, it didn't.
Oh.